1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, you can hear me now, guys? Right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me now, guys? 1, 2, 1, 2. I think it's working. Yes or no? 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Please answer. See, I'm getting good at these laptop things. I'm a geek. So, can you hear me loud enough? Is it loud enough? Is it okay? We're in the garden. It's too nice to sit inside. As I was saying, we're doing the Elvis biopic, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis biopic, Austin Butler's biopic. Now, I find it really interesting. Yeah, all of the characters in Baz Luhrmann's film, his style that he used to create that film. Now, I'll be straight with you. I'm not here to trash the film or slate the film. I'm more here to have a constructive discussion about the Baz Luhrmann film. There's some parts of it I do like. Yeah. So one thing I will make very clear is I am a big fan of Austin Butler. I really like Austin Butler. I know that he spent a hell of a long time practicing, rehearsing, so that he could at least sound and move and act like Elvis, including his facial expressions. And he really did put 100% into this role. I will say this, he's a good looking guy, but he's not Elvis. So when I watch Baz Luhrmann's film, I don't look at Austin Butler and think, wow, you look just like him. I never think that. But he does, actually, he sounds a lot like him, doesn't he? Because he sings, doesn't he, Austin? But I understand why Lisa Marie liked that film so much. I understand it because I think Lisa Marie, obviously, she's quite unwell, isn't she? Yeah. Now, obviously, we know about the Golden Globe Awards and everything that happened. But I do understand that this film did seem to relaunch Elvis to the world, to the masses, to all different generations. It really did do that. It achieved that. Carolyn, it's her birthday today. She's not here, but I'm going to... Oh, Carolyn, you're here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carolyn. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip. That Carolyn was introduced to Elvis through the Baz Luhrmann film. So for Carolyn, this film is like amazing. It's like, wow, best thing ever. Best thing ever. And I don't blame her because it introduced her to Elvis. It relaunched Elvis to her. I do think there are millions of people that watch the Baz Luhrmann film and it reinvigorated their passion. It reminded them of their passion for Elvis. I get quite a few messages of people saying, oh, I loved Elvis when I was growing up, but then I forgot, you know? But then years later, the Baz Luhrmann film comes out and it reminded them, oh, actually, I loved Elvis growing up. I loved Elvis as a child, as a teenager. You get it, guys? I do think that movie had that effect. It reminded tens of thousands of ex-Elvis fans just how much they loved Elvis growing up in their childhoods and in their teens and 20s. So it really did have a turning a light switch on moment. The Baz Luhrmann film really did flick a switch, a very bright switch, a very pizzazz, sparkly switch. Concerning Elvis, it reminded everyone just how amazingly talented Elvis was. And the rags to riches story, it did introduce the whole shake rag, Mississippi Tupelo, you know, the child, and then his influences musically. It really does try and tell us why Elvis goes from literally a very poor guy, young boy, with a very beautiful, close relationship with his mother. His connection to Jesus, to God, to the Bible, to church, to gospel music, to singing. It does sort of tell us the story, doesn't it? And then that shows the move to Memphis, the sudden fame, moving into Gracelands. Then it introduces the Memphis Mafia. I think the Memphis Mafia thing is a bit comical. Yeah. I don't like the portrayal of Gladys, you know that. I don't like the way they portray Vernon. He comes across quite weak. Gladys, they give the impression that she has a drink problem, but not just that. I think they also sort of say she couldn't handle the fact that Elvis had gone into the army. She didn't like that Elvis had become so famous so quickly. She felt she had lost Elvis. So there's many factors. I do think it gives you the impression that he had a serious problem with prescribed medication. I think the portrayal of his relationship with Priscilla is just completely upside down. It goes along with the Elvis and me narrative. You know, they met at 14 and fell in love. Everything was beautiful until Elvis is unfaithful and is taking too many prescribed medications. And it does sort of still follow that, unfortunately. I mean, the Priscilla character, I would say, is probably the worst character in the movie. Tell me what you guys think. Honestly, the worst character. If I was going to say to you my favorite character, probably is Austin Butler. I actually quite like Tom Parker's Colonel Tom. I actually like Tom Hanks' version of Tom Parker. I actually thought it was pretty good. Obviously, the film is done from the point of view of Colonel Tom Parker. So I actually bought into that quite well. We see the rise to stardom of Elvis, Sun Records, Memphis Studios. It's very clear that Colonel Tom Parker sees an opportunity and thinks, "Ooh, here's my chance," and takes it. For whatever reason, Elvis saw something in Colonel Tom Parker where he felt he could trust him to launch him to another level of fame. So he was here, and Colonel Tom Parker could bring him to here. Yeah? So Elvis must have seen that in him. Maybe Vernon did as well. Gladys, I'm not really sure. I think she was probably out of her depth. Was always thinking she's going to lose her child. So then you get into the Vegas years. Now, the Vegas years at first were wow. Yeah, Elvis looking amazing. No, it also, actually, I'm jumping forward. It jumps to the 68 comeback. You got the Vegas years. Then it starts to go in where it shows Elvis with a gradual decline. Yeah. Now, guys, I'm old school, so I would always prefer the Kurt Russell film. Because I'm from that generation. Yeah. But I do completely see that this film did relaunch Elvis. Yeah, it did relaunch Elvis. Let's just see the very quick basics. So this is going to be a difficult topic to cover, guys. I reckon it's going to take 3 or 4 episodes. It's too much to go through. The thing that I did realize was when I started doing some research, I've been researching it since last night. There's too much to go through. There is so much. You've got the Baz Luhrmann interviews. You've got the Austin Butler interviews. Then you've got the Tom Hanks interviews. You've got the reviews. You've got every single character in the Baz Luhrmann biopic interviews. Yeah. So this isn't something you can just quickly cover because there's so much said about this film. It's an unbelievable amount, actually, and very detailed interviews. So how do we get all that in? Because I want both sides of the story. I want to know the opinion of people that liked it and didn't like it. So I'm like, my God, this is going to take hours and hours. So in the end, I just thought, we'll have a chat. We'll play a few videos. We'll just see how the conversation goes. Of course, I'm going to read your comments. So let's just get some basic facts on it before I play anything. So 2022 musical drama. Should we just read out some of the cast? Obviously, Austin Butler. Then we've got Olivia de Jong, who played Priscilla. I thought she was terrible. Terrible. Didn't look like her. Terrible acting. Did anyone... I don't want to sound too negative. Did anyone think that that Olivia did a good job of the Priscilla character? Because I thought she was so bad. Didn't look anything like her. What do you think, guys? Put it in the comments. So let's have a look. Obviously, Tom Hanks. Then we've got many other people here. I'm not going to say them all. There's loads. So what does it say? Let's see if we got a bit of Wikipedia. Elvis is a 2022 epic biographical drama film co-produced and directed by Baz Luhrmann and co-written with Sam Brommel, Craig Pearce, Jeremy Donner. Elvis Presley is under the management of Colonel Tom Parker, who's played by Tom Hanks. Nothing major, guys. There's nothing stand out here that it says distributed by Warner Brothers. The release date was May the 25th at Cannes, then June the 23rd in Australia, June the 24th in the United States. It was basically an hour and 59 minutes long. The budget was 85 million. But it made the total box office return was $288 million. So a massive success, guys. The biographical film about Elvis Presley was first announced in 2014 with Luhrmann set to direct it. I didn't know that. So it was actually announced 8 years, obviously, before it was. So let's have a look. The project languished in development until 2019. Once Tom Hanks joined the film, Butler was cast in the title role. So I think Tom Hanks saying that he would play the Colonel. Obviously, the film's based on Colonel Tom Parker, isn't it? His viewpoint. I think once you had Tom Hanks on board, that created interest. Now, I've read that Austin Butler really wanted this role. Even before he had any chance of getting it, Austin Butler had started practicing at home. He really took it seriously about getting this role, guys. Yeah? So I am going to read your comments. This part 1 episode is going to be mainly us chatting. Part 1 is mainly chatting. Okay, guys? Butler was cast in the title role in July, beating out several other actors. So other people tried to get... Let's have a look. So Austin Butler obviously gets the role, yeah? There's a story behind that. We're going to have to discuss that as well. Now, he beats other people that were trying to play Elvis. I can understand it, that all the youngsters, the very famous up-and-coming youngsters, and some very famous people wanted to be Elvis, yeah? To play Elvis in this new movie. Don't forget, the first decent new movie of Elvis's life, his story, for decades, yeah? Is that true, guys? For decades. You tell me, how many years was it between the last movie you know, made for cinema, made for the theatre, cinemas. What other movies were there? I'm just trying to think now out loud. There wasn't any really. There was a few silly ones. Wasn't there the Nixon one, which was ridiculous? There was a few others, what there, that were just sort of comedy type. So really, Baz Luhrmann, a very interesting looking man, his hair, the way he dressed, he had a real flair to him, didn't he? A very interesting character. I think that alone got the attention of the world because, oh, Baz Luhrmann, he's unusual looking, you know. The way his voice has its own sound. He has a very distinct personality. So I think Baz Luhrmann doing the movie was the beginning of a way of getting attention on this movie that was coming. So the whole world was talking about this movie. So it says here, Miles Teller tried to be Elvis. You had Harry Styles. So it says that filming began in Australia in January 2020, but was put on hold in March after Hanks tested positive for COVID. So I think we saw all this, didn't we? This was played out. We're all going through COVID, aren't we? Yeah. We're all in our gardens doing barbecues. No one's allowed out. We all went through it. It's unbelievable that we went through that, isn't it, guys? Yeah. So obviously Tom Hanks getting COVID was a problem. Yeah. And I heard that he did get very unwell. So then eventually production resumed in September and wrapping up in March 2021. Elvis premiered at the Cannes Film Festival on May the 25th, 2022, and was released in Australia on June the 23rd, in the United States on June the 24th by Warner Brothers. It was a commercial success, grossing over 288 million worldwide against an 85 million budget. It also received general positive reviews from critics, with Butler's performance garnering widespread critical acclaim. The American Film Institute named one of the top 10 films of 2022. This really was a massive success. Come on, we all watched it. Yeah, everyone watched this film. And when it went to like things like Netflix, it again was a massive success. Yeah, Elvis received 8 nominations at the 95th Academy Awards. I think it should have got an Academy Award, but including Best Picture and Best Actor for Butler, amongst numerous others. A stage adaptation with Luhrmann attached as a producer in development. Okay, so we know the cast. Now, it does mention the plot. Let's have a look. Raised mostly by, I want to read this before I read your comments, guys. Raised mostly by the doting mother Gladys, Elvis Presley spends his childhood in the slums of Mississippi Tupelo, finding solace in the music and comic books. After moving with his parents to Memphis, Tennessee, he is ridiculed by his peers due to his fascination with African American music of Beale Street. Colonel Tom Parker, at the time a carnival huckster, manages country singer Hank Snow, but realizes Elvis' crossover potential when he hears That's All Right. Initially assuming that the artist is black, that night, after witnessing his intense sex appeal at the Louisiana Hayride performance, Parker invites Elvis to accompany him on tour and convinces Elvis to let him take control of his career, which begins Elvis's meteoric ascent. He moves from Sun Records to RCA Records. His father, Vernon, is appointed as business manager of Elvis Presley Enterprises, and the family is lifted out of poverty. I'm going to keep reading, guys. Your message, you've got a lot of messaging going on here. Carry on, guys. I'm going to read all of this because I think it's important that I read it. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather. Get yourselves a tea and a coffee because We're going to do a few lives today. Some on the dog walk, some in my garden. The regional public is polarized on Elvis' feeling that his music will corrupt wild children and stoke racial hostility. Yeah, okay, I just remembered actually. Yes, so they do go through a period of the backlash that Elvis got. Obviously, this thing about it being black music and that this was a really bad influence on the teenagers, the delinquents, whatever you call them. You know, we're talking about a very racist time in the world, the 1950s. Very racist, segregation. So, segregational Southernist Democrat Mississippi Senator James Eastland calls Parker. Why is that just jumped off? To an informing hearing and probes his mysterious past when Elvis flouts the authorities, warning and performs suggestive dance movements. We know about it. At a concert, he faces legal troubles. Parker persuades the government to draft Elvis into the army. Now, is that true? Is that true? We see it in the movie. Did that really happen? Some of this obviously changed for the movie. Yeah. It shows him at basic training, only to be devastated by his mother's death from drinking. Now, we have massive issues about that, haven't we, guys? The whole calling her a drunk. We're not having it. We're not happy with it. We're going to defend Gladys. So here we go. This will be interesting, how they discuss Priscilla. He then meets 14-year-old Priscilla Butlers, the daughter of Air Force pilot. After his discharge, he embarks on a film career later and marries Priscilla. Right, so they say that's very, very quickly mentioned, isn't it? As the popular culture of the 1960s passes and the assassination of Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy in 1968 devastates him. So I think this is well known. Elvis was devastated by the death of Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy. Although he wants to become more politically outspoken in his music, Parker has booked a family-friendly Christmas, a television special which he will only perform frivolous feel-good songs. Elvis works with Steve Binder to reimagine the special and his performance, including the closing song, If I Can Dream, incorporates not only a review of his past songs, but also political commentary. Corporate sponsors threaten litigation, enraging Parker. However, the show is highly successful. Afterwards, Elvis headlines at the largest showroom in Las Vegas in the International Hotel and resumes concert tours. Parker control of Elvis's life tightens as he refuses his request for a world tour. Motivated by gambling debts, Parker manipulates Elvis into signing a contract of a 5-year Las Vegas casino residency. Elvis' problematic behavior and prescription drug addiction overtakes him. Obviously, we have views about that, don't we, guys? And a despondent Priscilla divorces him on his 38th birthday, taking their daughter Lisa Marie with her. Well, I'm glad they say that. She not only divorces him, she takes Lisa away from her father. Glad that that's said. After discovering that Parker cannot leave the country because he is a stateless illegal immigrant, Elvis attempts to fire him. Parker subsequently informs Vernon that his family owes him $8.5 million. Now, that's one little point there. So did Elvis, it says here, Elvis discovers that Colonel Tom Parker is an illegal immigrant and then decides to sack him, to fire him. Is that true? I think Elvis did try to fire Colonel Tom Parker many times. Is that one of them? Yeah. Elvis attempts to fire him. Parker subsequently informs him of this $8.5 million debt that had accumulated since 1955, and Elvis, their symbiotic relationship, though they became distant afterwards, Parker continues to be his manager. So I think that probably sounds right. They did become distant at a point. Let's have a look. So increasingly exhausted after a continuously rigorous schedule of shows, Elvis expresses to Priscilla his fears of being forgotten after death, and he believes that he has achieved nothing worthwhile. On June the 21st, 1977, in Rapid City, South Dakota, an obese, pale and weak Elvis sings Unchained Melody to thunderous applause. He dies shortly thereafter on August 16th, 1977. Parker claimed what really killed Elvis was neither his heart attack nor the drug-related suicide, as some believe, but rather his love for his fans. I don't know. Let me just reread that second. Parker claims what really killed Elvis was neither his heart attack nor drug-related suicide, as some believe, but rather his love for his fans. I don't get that. I don't understand that. A series of lawsuits in the 1980s exposes Parker's financial abuse of Elvis, with Parker settling out of court and cutting his ties to the Presley estate after failing to claim immunity as a stateless person. Okay, so we know about Parker. Eventually it gets sorted, doesn't it? And he's gone. We know that happens after Elvis passes. Having gambled away the rest of his ill-gotten fortune, Parker becomes poor, and on January the 20th, 1997, is rushed for a heart attack to a hospital in Las Vegas, where he dies. Elvis remains the best-selling solo artist in history. No surprise, guys. Beloved by millions worldwide, even decades after his death. Woo! I still want to read a bit more of this, guys, because it's quite interesting. I'm sorry that I'm not reading your comments, but I want to just... This is part one, so we're introducing what we're going to do. We may have to do 2 days on this. This is going to be quite complicated. So Elvis, the movie, grossed $151 million in the United States, $137 million in Canada. So the worldwide total was $288 million. Let's have a look. So it beats quite a few things. It beats Top Gun Maverick. It beat Independence Day. Is that right? Am I reading this right? It beat Independence Day. There's a few other films here. Thor, Love and Thunder. Outside of the US and Canada, the film made $20 million from 50 markets in its first international weekend. It is the second weekend the film passed the 100 million worldwide threshold after adding 15.7 million to its total. In its third week, it performed very well against all the other movies that were out at the time. So it was a massive hit, guys, wasn't it? It's a massive hit. By March the 25th, 2023, they started streaming it on different, and it was a massive hit there as well. Nominated announcements on January the 24th, the highest total of any Best Picture nominee that year. Yeah. Let me just see if there's anything else. I think, okay, I think that's all the things we need to know. Just an overview, yeah, guys? So Elvis' daughter praised the film in an Instagram post after seeing it twice. She went on to give her thoughts on Austin Butler's performance as her late father, stating that he channeled and embodied my father's heart and soul. I think we've seen that, haven't we, guys? We'll try and find that at some point. In my humble opinion, his performance is unprecedented and finally done accurately and respectfully. That is obviously Lisa Marie's words, yeah? While touting Butler as a front runner for the Academy Awards Best Actor regarding Luhrmann's director, she wrote. So this is Lisa Marie's words, okay, guys? You can feel his pure love, care, and respect for my father throughout this beautiful film. And it is finally something that myself and my children and their children can be proud of. Your utter genius combined with your love and respect to my father and this project is just so beautiful and so inspiring. I know I'm being repetitive, but I don't care. Thank you for setting the record straight in such a deeply profound artistic way. Lisa Marie's words. That's beautiful. Beautiful. We know that Austin became very close with, briefly, very close with Lisa and with Priscilla. That's the truth of it. Priscilla obviously praised the movie as well. We know Austin Butler didn't even spend the night at Graceland. He was determined to feel the connection with Graceland. Someone said to me, I don't know if this is true, that he was even given a showing of Upstairs by Lisa. Is that true? Did Lisa Marie take Austin Butler upstairs and show him the upstairs? Is that true? Put it in the comments, guys, because I don't know for definite. She added, watching the film reminded her of her own son, Benjamin, who died by suicide in 2020, saying that he would have loved it as well. This is actually very good, isn't it? This is on Wikipedia, guys. On January the 10th, 2023, Lisa Marie appeared at the 80th Golden Globe Awards in support of Butler's win as Best Actor Motion Picture Drama. It was her last public appearance before her death 2 days later. Presley's ex-wife Priscilla gave her thoughts on the film, saying, in full, right, so this is Priscilla. Now, you know my views, guys. You know my views, yeah? Priscilla is his ex-wife, and she should be treated in that way. Priscilla has acted as if they were still married when Elvis died. Priscilla has acted like his wife or his widow for 40 years, maybe longer, yeah? I don't like that. I don't like that Priscilla always plays the wife, the downtrodden wife, when the truth is she divorced Elvis. I know some people disagree with that. She demanded the divorce. She divorced Elvis. I don't care what anyone says. When she was caught being with Mike Stone, the karate champion, and she took Lisa, and when she's caught, if she demands a divorce and walks out on Elvis, taking Lisa with her, she became his ex-wife. She became the cause of the divorce, in my opinion. So when we see that she talks on behalf of this film, I personally feel she has no right, because she betrayed Elvis. She took Lisa away from Elvis. That's just my opinion. This isn't based on hate or anything like that. It really bothers me that Priscilla acts as if she was still married to Elvis when he died. Bothers me. Anyway, let's listen to Priscilla's words. Okay, guys? For those curious about the new film, Elvis, Baz Luhrmann, the director provided a private screening for me and Jerry Schilling. Obviously, we know Jerry and Priscilla are very close. Jerry was very close to Priscilla and Lisa. Obviously, we know Jerry accompanied Lisa to the Golden Globe Awards. Now, this is Priscilla's words. Jerry Schilling at Warner Studios recently. This is a story about Elvis and Colonel Tom Parker's relationship. It is a true story told brilliantly. Now, I know that they base it from the point of view of the Colonel Tom Parker, but actually there's much more to this film than the relationship between Colonel Tom Parker and Elvis. There's much more to it. I think if you watch this film, you won't think it's just Colonel Tom Parker's point of view. There's many aspects to this film. Do we agree on that, guys? It is a true story told brilliantly and creatively that only Baz, in his unique artistic way, could have delivered. Austin Butler, who played Elvis, is an outstanding. Halfway through the film, Jerry and I looked at each other and said, wow. We've all seen this, haven't we? We've seen Priscilla say this many times. Bravo to him. He knew he had big shoes to fill. He was extremely nervous playing this part. So she's talking about Austin Butler. I'm a big fan of Austin Butler, guys. I am a big fan of his. Yeah. I can only imagine Tom Hanks was Colonel Tom Parker in this film. What character he was. I really liked Tom Parker in this film. I did. Some of you say you didn't like him, but I did. I found him quite believable. What character he was. There was two sides to the Colonel. Jerry and I witnessed both. This story, as we all know. Now, I must admit, guys, I've watched a lot of interviews concerning Colonel Tom Parker. I've read many things as well. He had a good side as well. We're very upset with Colonel Tom Parker. We feel that he trashed Elvis's career. Didn't let him do the right movies, didn't let him come to Europe, and many other things. Ignored that he was very sick, ignored that he was taking way too many prescribed medications. We all know that the dark side of the Colonel, and we're all very upset about it. But he did have another side to him as well. So I'm learning this. The more interviews I watched, I'm seeing it was very black and white with Colonel. You have the dark side, then you have the light side. So anyway, that's for another topic. One day we're going to do a Colonel Tom Parker live stream. Okay. But I do think Tom Hanks played him quite well. What character he was there? Let's have a look. So Priscilla is saying, look, she almost is defending the Colonel, because Priscilla, if you watch her interviews, she does say, oh, do you know what? I actually liked him. We got on well. Even when Elvis died, Priscilla wanted Colonel Tom Parker to carry on being the manager, of Graceland and everything Elvis. So Priscilla clearly liked the Colonel. It's even possible that the Colonel is the reason they got married, So Priscilla will remember that. Oh, you're the reason I married Elvis. You encouraged it, And obviously other factors like Priscilla's parents. Maybe even Vernon felt that Elvis should fulfill promises he may have made. We don't really know what promises Elvis made, but the Anne-Margaret thing that we've watched recently, Anne-Margaret does sort of say Elvis made promises, and that's part of the reason me and Elvis didn't marry. Anne-Margaret says that, doesn't she? So I do think it's a possibility that Elvis made promises to Priscilla's parents. It's possible. Again, another discussion. We could do a whole live stream. Did Elvis make promises to Priscilla's parents, to Vernon, to the Colonel, to himself, to Priscilla? That's for a whole new live stream, guys? Jerry and I witnessed both stories, so I think you will understand a little bit more of Elvis's journey, penned by the director who put his heart and soul and many hours into the film. I think that's fair to say. Priscilla defended parts of the film portrayal of Elvis and Parker's tense relationship, stating, I lived the arguments that they had. I lived Elvis trying to explain that he didn't want to do the movies with all the girls and the beaches and everything, that he really wanted to do serious things. We know this, don't we, guys? So living that with him and watching the movies, it brought back a lot of memories. Which it would have done. The truth is, they did get married. They lived together for years. There were a lot of ups and downs. In my opinion, they were definitely wrong for each other. I still say this. Priscilla wasn't ready to have a child. Elvis wasn't ready to get married. I don't think Elvis wanted to marry Priscilla. I think he was pressured into it. So it's complicated. We know Elvis lived as a single man in the early 60s. We also know that Priscilla was very unfaithful after Lisa Marie was born. So it's complicated, guys. We know that once Elvis caught Priscilla being unfaithful, he went on to be unfaithful, allegedly. Yeah? So it's a mess. It's a mess, isn't it, guys? It brought back a lot of memories. On May the 21st, 2022, granddaughter, actress, filmmaker Riley Keough shared her response after viewing the film at Cannes. Right, this is interesting, guys. So this is Riley Keough's words. I was very emotional. It was a very emotional experience. It was very tense to watch. When It's Your Family, the first movie I've ever watched in the theatre, and I said I wanted to make movies, was Moulin Rouge. I was 12. It was a real honor to know Baz was doing this movie. He did Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge. There we go. Okay. I actually didn't even know that, but so Baz Luhrmann did Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge. My wife loves the film Romeo and Juliet. Moulin Rouge isn't a bad film, actually. For the age I was at the time, they were really powerful films. It wasn't like I distrusted Baz in any way, but you're protective of your family. Now, this is Riley Keough's words. At the end of the day, we're not going to tell Baz Luhrmann how to make a movie. In the first 5 minutes, I could feel how much work Baz and Austin put into it, trying to get it right. That made me emotional immediately. You know, I'm going to agree with, you know, Baz Luhrmann. This completely took over his life. He did the best he could do. He did the best he could do. So did Austin Butler. Yeah. That doesn't mean that I agree with all of... There's many things in the film I don't agree with. I think the Priscilla character was terrible. I don't agree with the portrayal of Vernon and Gladys. And there's a few other things in there that I just don't like. I will never say that Austin Butler looks just like Elvis. He doesn't. But he does capture some kind of spirit. There is this very deep... I'm trying to put it into words. Austin Butler definitely gets something right. Perfectly right with Elvis's essence. Yeah, there's something very, very believable with Austin's portrayal. I'm a big fan of Austin, and I love the way he portrayed Elvis. Yeah, he definitely gets something that I think shows thousands of hours of practice, rehearsing. You know, you really get something with... It's, you know, beautiful to look at, actually. Even his voice is perfect. But when I see Austin playing Elvis, it's quite mesmerizing. I must admit, guys. You know what? Because obviously I watch it on Netflix. I've watched it loads of times, yeah? And what you look forward to seeing Austin do his thing. Dancing, singing, talking, playing the different plots within the Baz Luhrmann's film. And this is how I feel, guys. I really look forward to the bits with Austin Butler. I also look forward to the Colonel Tom Parker's bits. They're the bits that stand out to me. Yeah? The rest is a bit... for me, it gets a bit boring. But Austin Butler really... He nails it. He nails it. I have to say that, guys. I could feel how much work Baz and Austin put into trying to get it right. I'm going to agree with that. Obviously, a lot of money spent on the sets, the, you know, dressing people. You know, you really see the money that has been poured into making everything look right. Yeah, very clear. That made me very emotional. Immediately, I started crying 5 minutes in and didn't stop. So Riley Keough cried all the way through watching that film for the first time. Doesn't that tell you something, guys? For you guys that have a problem with Riley Keough, she cried through the whole film. Through the whole film. Because it's her granddad, It's her mum. She knew how important this is for her mum. She knew the closeness that Lisa had with Elvis, her father, and that it never... I actually don't even think that the public really, truly understood just how close Lisa was to her father, just how much Lisa missed. Yeah? So then it goes, I started crying 5 minutes in, didn't stop. There's a lot of family trauma and generational trauma that started around then for our family. I felt honored that they worked so hard to really get his essence. I like that. They worked so hard to really get his essence. That's good, guys. To feel his essence. Austin Butler captured that so beautifully. Austin Butler captured that so beautifully. I agree with that. I fully agree with that. Guys, I managed to read it. Right. Let's have a look. Let me just... So that obviously took me a lot longer than I thought. But I had to read it, guys, because I think it's really important to read that. I think it's a really, really good description of everything. That is an introduction. That is just part one. We got a lot more to do, guys. I need to go through some of your comments. I got a feeling that you guys have... So we're 50 minutes in. So I'm going to try and read... I'm going to scan through your comments as quick as I can, and then I'm going to go and come back for a part two. I just want to say, guys, this topic, I think, is going to be a topic we're going to have to cover for a couple of days. It's too much to go through. It's fascinating. Yeah? So even Baz Luhrmann, just his character alone is going to take some real work. And Austin Butler, the actor, we need to go through his portrayal and his words of this film. So there's a lot to go through, guys. I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to rush it. I want to go through this properly. We have all the time in the world. So I'm scanning through your comments, yeah? So Teresa, yeah, I agree with you. So Linda, I think what Lisa Marie may have liked about the film was it showed people how he was exploited. I get the feeling she saw how he was taken advantage. Yeah. Linda, I will say this. I would say the standout thing that Lisa did, this is just my opinion, a fan at home in the UK, is it was because of Austin. I would say the reason, just my opinion, that Lisa loved that film so much was because of Austin Butler and the way he portrayed Elvis, the way he captured his essence, in every way. That I think it was Austin that stole the show. You take Austin away from that film, it's a very different film. So that's my answer to that. Just an opinion, guys. So Carolyn, happy birthday. Elvis as a caricature my whole life. I've never investigated or looked into him. That movie sparked my passion for the man. I bawled my eyes out at the end of that movie. I bawled my eyes out. Right, okay, you mean you cried your eyes out. I think a lot of people cried at the end of that film. Obviously, don't forget the ending is heartbreaking, isn't it? The ending of that film is heartbreaking. I teared up at the ending, 100%. I teared up a few times in that film when I watched it for the first time. So Karen, you know that I'm gonna speak my mind. You say it was disappointing that it came across that Elvis had a relationship with Priscilla. There were no other girlfriends in it. I 100% I agree that the latter part of the film, they should have showed Linda Thompson, shouldn't they? Maybe a Ginger. I agree with that. Maybe Priscilla didn't let them. There's a possibility Priscilla, because Baz Luhrmann wants to keep Priscilla happy. It's a possibility he goes along with that to keep Priscilla happy. Yeah. But I will say this. Elvis did have a relationship with Priscilla. Whether we like it or not, they did have a relationship. They went through good times and bad times. It's a very complicated story. It's possible that there were times when Elvis did love Priscilla. It's possible there were times that Priscilla loved Elvis. It could have also been infatuation. We all know the story that Priscilla may have had a plan to get Elvis, to trap Elvis. That's also possible. The child bride version of things is possible. But one thing I will say, they did have a relationship at times where they got on well. There were good times as well as bad times. You don't move someone to Gracelands unless you like them. Yeah? So we can't completely rub Priscilla out. We can have very strong views. We can be upset with all the horrible things that she has done, and there's loads. We can't rub her out. It did happen. Elvis must have liked her sometimes. So that's my point there, okay? I want to be as honest as we can be. Yeah, Karen's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Karen for yesterday. I'm so glad you said about why Lisa liked the movie. I just couldn't, for the life of me, understand what she liked about that movie. Emily, are we talking about the same movie? Yeah? All right, yeah, because Linda gives her reason. Yeah. Okay, I think I've covered that in what we were saying, yeah? It irritates me how at the end of the movie she begs him for help. Truth is, she took the lean out. Well, we don't really know what happened, Linda, do we? We don't really know what happened, really. Do we really know what happened? But what does bug me is she was very unwell. I'm sorry, Elvis was very sick. She would have known it. She's more interested in, like you just said, she's more interested in, with the lawyers. Don't forget, this second divorce settlement had been going on for years, yeah? She's more interested in making sure she gets this deed of trust created to place this debt on Gracelands. She should have been more interested in getting him better, getting him off the prescribed medication. So I do believe that she put money first. I also think she used Lisa as a bargaining tool. I think Priscilla used Lisa as a bargaining tool. It's very sad, very sad. Guys, we could spend the whole day talking about Priscilla's wrongdoing, couldn't we? So we're very, very upset with Priscilla. We're very upset with her. I honestly believe that the movie is about Parker. Tom Hanks played him. I watched his interview about his work playing Tom Parker. It was good. Yeah. No, it was definitely done from the point of view of Tom Parker, but there were many other aspects to that film. Linda, I know some scenes with Elvis and Priscilla talking, Kathy Westmoreland book. So let's have a look. Linda, it also irritates me how Elvis mouths, "I will always love you." That Priscilla story he sang. Yeah, we all know that story. It's a lie, isn't it? Yeah? I think Elvis wanted to keep a brave face on for the public. I think Elvis wanted the public to see that they were still friends on behalf of Lisa. He didn't want Lisa to be embarrassed. Yeah, I've always thought that he put a front on for the fans, for Lisa. Yeah? The truth is, behind the scenes, they were arguing like cats and dogs. I don't think they were really close friends after the divorce. I don't believe it. When I see Priscilla saying we were better apart, I don't agree. I don't think so. Just don't think so. I think we're being lied to. Just an opinion. Everything we do in this program is opinions only for an entertainment show. So, Priscilla concerned mother, Elvis a neglectful father who was addicted to pills. Right. Yeah, that's how it came across. Yeah. Yeah, Carolyn, I agree with that point. Elvis, Emilia, I get Elvis fans would not like that movie too. No, because I think many Elvis fans love that movie. There's just parts of it that don't come across well for Gladys, for Vernon. The Priscilla character is pathetic. So it's good and bad, isn't it? Yeah. I'm glad we've got it. I'd rather have that movie than not. I'd rather, obviously, we know Baz Luhrmann has other plans as well, don't we? Yeah, he was involved with the Netflix documentary. You know, there's Baz Luhrmann is good for Elvis, isn't he? He's good for Elvis. Yeah, he loves it. I think Baz Luhrmann, he might not be a natural fan, but he loves Elvis. It was, yeah, Susie, it was sensationalized, but I do think it did a lot of good for Elvis as well. I really do. It 100% relaunched Elvis, reintroduced Elvis to millions of people, brought back many Elvis fans, and the young generation were introduced to Elvis. So I think it did a lot of good. Doesn't mean I agree with it all, but I do think it did a lot of good. He didn't capture the sense of humor. Let me just read that a bit. Austin's dedication was impressive. The kid really tried. He didn't capture all sense of humor, personality, but he really tried. Yeah. I think that's a bit. I think he did a bit, but yeah, not enough. I liked the movie. Shortly after I watched it, I found out that things in the movie were not accurate, but the movie brought Elvis in my life, so I'm very thankful. There we are. Great example of why it was good that that film was made. Yeah, Regina, thank you. I think you speak for hundreds of thousands of people just saying that. He brought Elvis into your life. Yeah, like Carolyn on her birthday. Carolyn, isn't it apt that we are doing this on your birthday, discussing the film that introduced Elvis to you? Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool for the birthday girl. Yeah? The girl who played Priscilla was terrible. She sure was. She's one of the worst portrayals of Priscilla ever. Regina, how many new fans that movie produced is amazing and wonderful. Yes, definitely. There is a part in it that portrays him as depressed and sad. What you say about the charismatic, full of life, it does show that, Emily. It does show that. It does. In the earlier part of the film, you see Elvis excited, the way he performs, loving the fans, how nervous he was. I think it does show a very charismatic Elvis. But then, obviously, this is a biopic. This is Elvis's life story. So it will show all the phases of what Elvis went through. Remember, we have to remove the I hate blink. We have to remove the I hate Priscilla blinkers. Yeah, Emily? Remove the I hate Priscilla blinkers and see the whole film for what it was. There's many parts to that film. Many parts, yeah? I say that with respect. So Linda, unfortunately, Priscilla is okay. So again, Pat, I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. Pat, remove the I hate Priscilla blinkers. You get what I'm saying, guys? I want to give impartial views. You know how I feel about Priscilla, guys. I'm very upset with her. I would fully expose Priscilla's wrongdoing, but I won't let that cloud my judgment. I will try and give an impartial view on everything. I have to be fair on defending Elvis. I have to do that. Let's keep going. I'm Yeah, I love that. Carolyn says, it's amazing how my life has been blessed with this man. I love him so much. And Carolyn, you loving Elvis is how you discovered the carnivore diet, which completely transformed your life. So Elvis made you healthy again. Is that right, Carolyn? Elvis made you healthy again. Interesting. Interesting, guys. I've always said this. Elvis saved my life. Elvis saved my life. It's a complicated story. He saved my life, guys. I owe Elvis And if anyone wants to know why I do a Defending Elvis channel, he saved my life when I was a child. It's a complicated story. We won't go into it now. That is why I do it. Right. At the end of the movie, I bawled my eyes out. I'm rushing through the comments, guys, because I've got to end this live stream soon. Yeah, Susan, the special effects were amazing, and it won many nominations. Yeah. Come on, Austin should have got an Oscar. Austin Butler should have got an Oscar. Oh, I'm just in my garden at home. Yeah, Catherine, we are gonna go through Lisa's interviews. This is gonna take a lot of shows, guys. There's too much to go through. So yes, 100%. I want to listen to what Lisa has to say. I want to show her with Austin Butler. We're gonna do that. I'm quite overwhelmed with just how much work this topic is going to need, the Elvis biopic topic. Let's have a look. I am rushing through the comments. Guys, a lot of topics. Not topics, a lot of comments. You're on form today, Team Elvis. Right, I've got a couple of minutes left. I'm getting phone calls, so I need to be quick. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get your comments up on here so I can... Here we go. So, right, let's have a look. Else, hi, Teresa. Hope you're well. It's interesting that Lisa did not say anything about the Priscilla character. Good point. Linda says, despite everything, Lisa Marie is correct. In spite of others' aspects, Austin was very endearing in this film. 100%. Come on, we all love Austin. I think all of us are fans of Austin. I'd quite like to meet Austin Butler. I find him fascinating. Has he had a decent movie success since this film? I don't know, guys. I don't follow his career. Has he made any good movies since this Elvis film? Yeah, I like the way Susan. I like Tom Hanks in this movie. I thought he was great. Some of you may disagree. Yeah, we like Moulin Rouge, didn't we, Carolyn? Okay, we're catching up with the comments now, guys. Baz, let's have a look. Hi, Larry. How are you today? Yeah, we always get people defending the Smiths. I agree. The Smiths, the way they've been treated is wrong. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. Right, I think we're at the end now, guys. So we're going to come back. We're going to do a part 2, but I'm going to have a little break. Yeah, Elizabeth, watch it again. Watch it again. It's on Netflix, isn't it? It's on Netflix. I've watched it many, many times. I have. I've enjoyed this discussion. Have a good week. Thanks, Susan. But this is only part one. Part one. We're going to play a load of interviews, a load of video footage. We got a lot more to do. We're going to play some clips of the actual movie itself. Thanks, Pat. I know. I'm doing my best, but it's so hard. I'm only teasing you, Pat. Austin said that it was very consuming to learn and act like Elvis. I bet it was. I know he took it very seriously. Thousands of hours of practicing. Just at home in the mirror. Didn't he do a lot of his practicing through COVID? This is a great topic, guys. Yeah. We do it for Carolyn on her birthday. Catherine, the movie made me want to study Elvis more and find the truth. Thank you, Catherine. Great comment. Have a good time, Karen. Karen's gone out for dinner. Birthday dinner. Right, I think I've covered it all. Okay, so any comments that I've missed, guys, I'm really sorry. We've been on, you know, over an hour now. So I'm going to have a half-hour break. And then I'm going to come back. Yeah, guys? A 30-minute break, and I'm going to come back. So I'll see you all in 30 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting the whole hour to be a discussion and me reading, but I think it was the right way to go. So part one was an introduction to our topic today of Baz Luhrmann's biopic. Now, we're not just talking about Baz Luhrmann's biopic, the film, the movie. We're also talking about Austin Butler, Baz Luhrmann as well. I want to sort of get into the characters. I want to play some clips. I want to play some interviews. We're going to discuss Lisa's opinion on Austin and the movie, Priscilla's opinion. Yeah, we may look at a couple of short reviews. I'm only going to play short clips, short reviews. So that's for part two. We're going to start looking at some reviews, some words of Baz Luhrmann, yeah, and Austin Butler. Yeah, that's going to be part two. I'm a bit unsure about how today's going to go because the weather is so nice. We may end up going somewhere. So I can't promise what time part two is going to start. I'm hoping we'll do part two in half an hour. I'm hoping. We'll see. Okay. Thanks, guys. Love to all of you. Thanks for joining me here. It's been a great discussion. Take care. See you soon.